Hey everyone. Pixel Venture Podcast Bot here to let you know that the next episode of the podcast is going to be broadcasted live Saturday, May 2nd at 12 p.m. over on twitch.tv/PizzaTomOfficial. The VOD will be uploaded here the day after, so if you miss out you'll still be able to watch it. We hope to see you there. With that out of the way, here is the episode that should have been uploaded on Saturday.
I'm recording.
I have started. Right? 3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Venture Podcast. I'm Corey.
And I'm here.
Yes, you are. So we still don't actually have a set yet. So we're just kind of recording this, next to a building that we want to rent out. But, we have, 2 cents between the three of us. The third being my cat. I don't know. Okay, that was shit. Can we do a new intro?
No.
Okay,
you walked
3,
yourself
2,
into this one.
1. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Venture Podcast. I'm Corey.
And this is our second time doing the intro.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Venture Podcast. I'm Corey.
And we have stuff to talk about.
Yes, we do. So, last episode...
You've got to own up for your mistakes, dude.
I'm gonna figure out something fun to, incorporate all of that into, but...
You better, you're the editor.
Oh, yeah. I'll do what I can, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know how much time I'm going to be able to actually put into this edit. But, yeah, anyways. There's some stuff from last episode that we wanted to talk about, so we're probably going to... This episode's just going to be kind of playing a game of catch-up. But regardless, before we get into any of, the stuff that we wanted to talk about, I want to give a special shout-out to actually a... hopefully will become a TV show. It's at least just one pilot right now. So if any of you grew up on Newgrounds like I did, you might know of the name Psychic Pebbles, also known as Zacadal. And he was prolific on the platform, did a lot of stuff with Chris O'Neill and Will Stamper and just so many incredible people on the platform. And it's been his dream for a very, very long time to actually pitch a TV show. Originally, it was going to be Hellbenders, which, if you know of the series, then you know, of the controversy with that, where it wasn't picked up because of the title. And somehow we ended up with Mr. Pickles instead, which, that show's awful. Regardless, he has a pilot with, I'm trying to remember... I forget his name. He's very Australian. Corey, put up the name here. But these two have put together a pilot called Smilin' Friends that has aired on Adult Swim, and it's also free on their website and their app. So I'm going to leave a link to the website in the description. Definitely check it out, support them. I want to see this thrive, because I love the animation, I love the comedy. It's very reminiscent of the online shorts that both of the animators used to do, and I'm just so happy to see Zach achieve his dream of getting the pilot out there, because Hellbenders, while it did have a pilot in the works, it never was officially released. This aired on TV and everything. So yeah, I'm immensely proud of those guys, and definitely go and support it if you can. This is the part where you say something.
What do you want me to say? You just said an advertisement, dude.
Transition!
So, Corey, what have you been up to? Just do all the talking today.
It's going to be like the episode we did with Kaylin when we first started the podcast.
We don't even need a guest for me to not say anything.
Look, all right.
It's not like you've been playing something that I know a lot about or anything.
Oh my god, you can just say that you've gotten me to play The Witcher.
He finally caught up with the times.
So, The Witcher was on sale. It was at Walmart for like $40 instead of 60, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up because I got it for my Switch, which I know a lot of people are gonna be like, why would you get it on a baby console? But it's also like
Baby console for babies.
it's sadly more powerful than my laptop is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been playing it, and honestly, it doesn't look too bad. When you play it on a TV, though, like the texture, like quality, and everything in the pop-in for like graphics and stuff, it's a lot more apparent. In handheld, though, I think it runs and looks perfectly fine.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't look as great as this, or this, or this screenshots I'm going to be sending you because I've been taking way too many.
Yeah, because I got you into playing it again.
Yeah, you're like,
asked
hey,
you
I
about,
got The
what
Witcher,
builds.
and I'm like, you've started your life on the path, dude, and you're like, hey, what should I do for like skills and stuff? What are they? And I'm like, I forget, so I'm gonna reopen it. And I'm like, man, I really want to play it again. And I started playing again.
It's so much fun. So like, I completely understand why you've been like singing the praises of it, because I've known bits and pieces of it before. Like I played a little of it before, but I never like fully took the time to like throw myself into the story and into the mechanics of the game. All I did when I played was I ran around and I rode a horse for a bit, and then like a goblin creature came over and like sliced my neck open, and that was it. But like now I'm actually trying to get deeper into the lore, the world itself, and one thing that's really cool that you actually explained to me was side quests that you do and the choices that you make in them will affect things like down the road, and it wouldn't even be apparent like at like, you know, the point that you're at. Like, for example, there was that lady who was locked outside of her shack and was like, those men went in there and they took my pot, you gotta go get it. And once you like break into the house and everything, you get the pot and it's completely like clean, and then you find these burnt notes, and then you find a pocket watch, and like that I feel like will definitely play into something later. No spoilers for that, Jake, but like it's just so cool to think that like everything that I do has some sort of impact, no matter how small it is.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not even like you'll get immediate like payoff for things. It can take like in-game days for things to eventually get back to you, because like it pays attention to like, yeah, obviously people aren't going to know about things immediately. Like it's going to take a little bit for that word to get around, and then it gets back to you.
Yeah, like one thing actually that happened very early in the game was there's like this bar fight kind of thing that happened where after you exit this bar, after gathering some information and playing your first game of Gwent, like there's these three guys and they're like, oh, we hate you because you got white hair and do magic and cat eyes, and it's like okay, I'm going to use like the Force and just be like, I'm not the Witcher you're looking for. And they're like, he's using magic, get him. And so like what you told me is that you have the choice to like use your sword like in that fight and like kill them, or you can beat them up with your fists, and that's going to change things like later down the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I feel like most players would just switch their swords when they're in a situation like that because it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And so like that's just wild to me.
Yeah.
Because it follows the same kind of like feeling that I get with a Telltale game. But the Telltale games, like, the choices are really vague. It could go from like it says like, okay, or like good luck or something like that. And you pick that because he's like, yeah, I want to be nice. And it's like, good luck, you piece of shit. And it's like, what? That's not what I meant.
Yeah, like I can't think of a time that ever happened to me in The Witcher. Like, where the responses just, like, didn't match what I wanted. I feel like they do a good job of, like, staying true to what you want to do. Like, sometimes answers will seem, like, similar, and it'll be hard to tell, but, like, I've never had a problem with it, personally.
I think with the similarities, though, it gives it, like, that subtle, like, nuance to it, where, like, it feels like, especially with like, the way that it's worded, because you could be like supportive where it's like, hey, it's going to be okay, or you're good, or something like that. Like there's two different energies from like those two statements.
Yeah. And, like, you can tell when one's more casual, like, it'll be spelled out, like, what do you want? Or it'll be, like, what are you looking for? Or, like, why, like, it'll be more sophisticated than just, like, a casual sort of, like, response. And you'll get, like, a bit of character out of that.
Yeah, and also it just gives more depth to the world around you. Because, like, not everybody has the same form of, like, dialect, because you have the North and the South kind of, like, you know, feud that's going on. But not even that. The way that certain, like, enemies or even, like, allies will refer to you, like, that adds so much weight to like, what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you just sent me a screenshot of a cave troll.
He's not a thinker, dude.
He ain't a thinker.
Like, I don't think you've gone to them yet, right?
I have not.
There will be a couple of trolls that you encounter, and this is the kind of English you can expect from them.
That's beautiful.
Like,
because it would be so
they speak
easy.
such broken English, and I'm not going to give away any of their lines, but there's one cave troll that you'll find that's been who's like owned by this one particular guy who swears a bunch, and you will see how that influenced the troll's dialect.
I'm very interested to get to that part. What I was like, okay, for a few things, because I want to hit a few different things that I like about the game, and then kind of like, you know, some nitpicks, and maybe those are things that like get sorted like afterwards. Also, I hit my mic there, so that's fun.
You'll figure out how to edit that.
Yeah. But a few of the things that I really like, I like how deep the combat is, especially because like we said, there's the skill trees, and you can focus on like doing things with your swords, like light attacks and heavy attacks. You can focus on doing things with your signs. You can do things with bombs. You could try to do like hand-to-hand combat type stuff. Like, there's a lot of freedom in how you approach the game. And like you mentioned before that people would complain that there wasn't freedom, but I haven't experienced that. Like
it's literally the people
things.
Who realize that like it can be really overpowered to just do a bunch of light attacks with a light attack build, because you get the most amount of hits out in like the fastest amount of time. And if you really maximize like crit chance and crit damage, it just becomes like overpowered. And it's the people who like stick to literally the one most powerful build and nothing else. Like, they don't pay attention to signs, they don't pay attention to like bombs at all. They craft like the most powerful potion and only use that one potion, not caring about like all the intricacies that get into the toxicity that builds up with the more potions you take, which depends on the skills that you take. They completely forget that you have like a crossbow with you, and they like don't even care at all about like dodging, because they just deflect everything or use Quen to absorb damage and don't even care about like any of that. They just go for like the single most powerful build, which, yeah, if you always focus on that, it's going to be pretty boring. But the great thing about The Witcher is you can choose a number of builds. You can focus on light attacks or heavy attacks, or you can focus on using alchemy and having potions and oils and bombs and concoctions to aid you in all the damage you deal, but not actually be powerful in and of yourself as you use up these potions. Or you can focus on a sign build, and you can even focus quite a bit on your crossbow, even though it's the most underpowered weapon inherently, because crossbows don't have upgraded versions of themselves. Like, you can get different crossbows, but you can't like reinforce them the way you can weapons and armor. And the crossbow bolts themselves aren't usually that powerful, and it can be kind of hard to find them. But you can optimize a build for your crossbow using the skills, perks, and the mutations you get later in the game in Blood and Wine. So you can actually use them very effectively, even if it is late game, but people don't even realize that, and they just ignore it for when you use it in water-based combat when you can't use your swords or signs, but you can one-hit kill things by using your crossbow underwater.
And I didn't
And that's
actually
been my
know
TED
that
Talk.
until you mentioned it to me.
That's my little rant about people hating the Witcher combat and saying, Dark Souls combat is so good because once you use an attack, you can't get out of it and you're sword to it. It teaches you don't be greedy.
It's
That's my
also
Dark
like
Souls
the
impression.
longest game of rock, paper, scissors you'll ever play.
Yeah. And what I love about The
Like-
Witcher is, like, you can be in the middle of an attack and you can dodge at any time if you realize you messed up.
Yeah.
Because what I like about The Witcher combat, I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed games, I'm not gonna lie. And the combat in that can be pretty nice, the way, like, you can easily, like, parry a lot of attacks and use that into a counterattack. But
It's very similar to like the Batman Arkham games with their parry system.
yeah, but the problem with both of those tends to be that, like, enemies will attack one at a time, which makes it easy to just go with counterattacks over and over and to chain those into multiple, like, different animations, which looks amazing. But it kind of takes out the complexity, because you just have to wait for the one guy to do it, and you can just counterattack until they're all dead.
It's like the action movie type like trope where it's like the huge group of guys and the one badass who like they're all just throwing themselves one by one, when really if they all threw themselves at them at the same time, they could overwhelm them easily. Which is what happens in The Witcher.
Yeah, it happens in The Witcher, so you might counter someone, but you might have to hold your block stance so that the next person coming in can get blocked. Or you might block someone, be in the middle of like a heavy attack while they're stunned, but you see someone coming in from behind, and so you dodge out of the way, like, just in time, and then come back in for an attack. Like, you have to really plan it out. And I've been playing on Death March, and even the
Oh, yeah.
bandits one hit kill you. And, like, a little bit of background, I played through the Witcher game completely in my last playthrough, and I got up to level 100. And the thing is, that is the highest level in The Witcher 3. And when you go into New Game Plus, enemies cannot be a higher level than 105. So everything I'm facing is 5 levels higher than me, for the most part, with the exception of, like, the wolves, for example. They might be like 101, 102. And with that also means all crafting items have a max level requirement of 100, because it can't be over than that, or else you can't use any of the new gear that you're finding that is scaled up in New Game Plus. Luckily, I knew where all the crafting recipes were for the armor that I want, so I just went out, got all of those, made all of them, and I still get one hit killed by, like, random bandits I encounter on the road. Like, and they're just like, they'll run up to me with their little mace and they'll just go, and I'm dead. So,
Dude,
like, I
the
really
best-
need to pay attention to, like, who's attacking me when, in order to plan out how to attack. And I've been finding things like Yurden really useful, because it slows enemies in the area, which gives me time to get off an attack before I have to backpedal with a dodge. Or I'll use R to just knock all of them down, and then go in and attack them one-on-one.
Dude, that's one thing actually I want to mention about how, like, what I love about this game.
Mhm.
I can be riding to do, like, the story quests and stuff, and then I'll find a bunch of bandits that are trying to, like they have a merchant that's captured, and I can just hop off Roach, go at them, save that merchant, sell a bunch of the weapons that I picked up from the bandits, and then maybe get, like, some food. Like, I love that.
Yeah,
because
and the thing
it's-
is, like,
Mhm.
I love, and I feel like a lot of games would do this in this scenario, but I feel like there are games that wouldn't do this. When you save those merchants, you can go out and find them later.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like a completely random person. Like, you can find them in the town they will tell you they will be at. And there
Yeah,
are times,
dude,
there's
like-
one that I encountered in this most recent playthrough, and I think it was one of the bandits that had a note on them talking about, I think it was like to their wife or something. Like, oh, you said this, this bandit job wouldn't work. Well, guess what? We just got a merchant and he's going to be giving us all our goods. And they actually, like, build that into the world. It's not just a random encounter. They, like, add just that little bit of extra story from a note from one of the bandits to like a family member or a loved one.
And the thing is that if you're just mashing through the game, you can easily miss that.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of people who are like, oh, there's no like deeper lore or anything like that. Like it's told visually, it's told through like items that you can pick up, it's told through like conversations that you hear from the townsfolk as you ride past. Like there's been so many moments where I'm like walking through a town and I just stop and I listen to everything people are saying.
Oh yeah. And
because it gives like a nice feeling of completion in a sense, where it's like there's people around you who are like these living, breathing people who like have their own lives and you are just taking a glimpse into it.
Yeah, and there will be parts of The Witcher later on. I want to say it's in like Skellige, and I want to say Toussaint too, but what you'll find, or there will be abandoned towns and like abandoned villages. They've been taken over by monsters. And once you kill them, people will come back to that town and just be a functioning town. So it's not like I know in Skyrim, for example, you'll get like a notice of like, clear out these mines, it's got dead things in it. And like you clear it out and it never gets used. It just like eventually regenerates the enemies that you then take on as like another job. Like
Yeah.
it never actually gets used, but in The Witcher you can see the changes that you make in the world you're playing in.
A good example that I can think of is actually, it's one of my big complaints about Saints Row 3. Is there's a point in the game where one of the areas, like one of the maps, like locations, becomes infested with zombies. And when you hit that point in the story, you can never revert it back to how it was. So like a lot of missions that you would do on that island, like prior to that, if you don't do it before that mission, and it's easy to like, you know, just be cruising through the story and not know that that's a thing, like eventually it just gets overrun by zombies. And so trying to pick up all the collectibles for 100%, trying to beat like some of the gang war areas, those are all interrupted because zombies start running at like any NPC and killing them before you even have the chance to activate an event.
Yeah.
And so like I really liked, because I had a small moment like that in The Witcher where I killed a bunch of these like ghoul, like kind of flesh eater guys. They were outside of a house, and then I went up to the door and I talked, and there were like these kids that were inside, and I had the option to give them food, so obviously I did. And so anytime I go back there, they're outside sitting around a fire, or they're inside like reading a book, and it's like really cool.
Yeah.
And this is unrelated, but I'm very happy right now because my phone just went off, and there's an artist that I really like. His name's San Holo, and he's been releasing music throughout like quarantine, for like this EP that's like continuously being released over like the rest of his discography. And I shared one of his songs, and he like responded saying, "Thank you so much for listening. This song means a lot to me." And so that's cool. Anyways, back to Witcher.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really enjoy is the music. All the music in this game has been perfect for every situation that I've been in. Like the moment combat comes in, the music swells up. You hear like the singing and like the instrumentation and like the guitars and everything. It's just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And then just riding across the continent, like just listening to the music as you're going by like these destroyed farmlands and like these swamps, and seeing all of these people, like it gives you the atmosphere that this game is trying to get across, which is this world is shit. Like
It's
this
shit,
is not a place
and it's lived in, and you can
Yeah.
tell that people have been here for a long while.
Yeah, and like you could be like riding down the road and you see like hanging bodies from like trees and these houses that are caved in, and people crying because their entire livelihoods have been put up in smoke, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah. Like, I love the thing that, like, reminds me of how good this game is, like, you don't pay attention to the detail that's in the game. You will notice more when there's, like, a lack of detail. Like, a moment that stood out to me is, like, there's one particular, like, bar fight scene in the game where, you are kind of forced to use weapons, and there will be, like, a cutscene after with Geralt using, like, his sword to defeat bandits, and you don't have the option of using fists. And that's in part because, the person that you're with at the time, Vesemir, he's by default using a sword. Like, you don't necessarily have the option to, like, fist fight and have a more, like, peaceful ending. You kind of have to kill them. Which, like, it's fine, but, like, it's opposed to, like, oh, like, it's interesting how this time they paid attention. Like, you're more aware of when you're forced to do something than when, like, something is more intricate. Which I think speaks to just how often there are, like, intricate details of, like, the order you do things in, or how you decide to go about things, or, like, things like that.
It's wild hunt. Like, it's
Wild hunt, dude.
It's just so wild to be able to, like, fully invest myself in an RPG again, because I haven't had this, thanks to the quarantine, I haven't had this, like, much free time for, like, story-driven games, like, since, like, high school. And so being able to, like, sit down and really get into the lore, get into the nitty-gritty of this, it's been a very, very fun experience. And now I, like, and the nice thing is that, aside from that, the nice thing about the game is that the Witcher TV show kind of, like, takes place a little bit before that.
It takes place quite a bit before, actually.
So, because, like, some characters, like, reappear and everything. Is the show based off of, like, the first game?
The show is based off of the books that take place before the games.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
then
it's books.
The show.
It's show/books, and then Witcher 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, which the games roughly take place around the same time as each other. Like, a little bit after. I think there's some numbers thrown in there, like, there's, like, 6 years ago, like, some things happened, 6 months since characters have seen each other. Like, you get a bit of a reference, but I would say compared to, like, the first season of The Witcher show, that's a fair amount off. It's hard to judge because it's, like, 3 different timelines that are taking place over 3 completely different amounts of time. Where, like, Geralt's takes place over, like, a couple of years, and then Yennefer's takes place over, like, decades, as she goes from, like, being a regular person to a full-blown, like, sorceress. And then Ciri's, that's probably, like, a couple of days, maybe, like, weeks. Or months, but, like, nowhere near as long as Geralt, who literally, by the time of the games, is, like, a century old, and is, like, maybe, like, middle-aged, to give you an idea of just how extended Witcher's lives are, due to their mutations. But, like, sorceresses are, like, practically immortal because of the magic that they use. So, like, they can live for, like, even longer. And so Ciri's just, like, a regular woman. Well, regular if you include, you know, the elder's blood that she got from her mother's side. A regular woman, you can save the world and shit, whatever.
I would love if Geralt would just became a bumbling guy who's just like, yeah, she go fucking save the world.
Oh,
just you
wait. Just you wait. You haven't even gone to the good parts of the story yet.
Dude, I'm sorry. I still love when I was playing the game. I was on Discord and we got to the part where I see, like, Yennefer again, and the first thing I say was like, Jennifer, it's you. I had a dream where you were naked. It's like,
I had a dream where you were naked and I was naked, but then there was a crab and I was scared.
yeah, and there was a crab, and I was like, "There's a funny prank," and you're like, "Go talk to girl, not me," and I'm like, "But I want butt."
The famous bathtub scene.
Dude, it was. I cheered when it first came on.
Yeah, and then you get a
'Cause, like-
second one where yeah.
Where like there's a bunch of ladies, and then a Chad comes in and he's like, "You will answer these questions."
And you had no idea what they were talking about, but I did.
Yeah, and
I knew
was,
what they were
yeah,
talking
and I was like,
about.
oh, and I was like, because I literally played The Witcher 2 for like 5 minutes when I had my Nvidia Shield, and then I never touched it again.
And I'm like, I could like give you like background information on like the stuff, and you're like, yeah, that'd be appreciated. And then you never asked me about anything.
Dude, the thing that's like. The thing that's funny is that I had technically the opportunity to play The Witcher, like the entire series, back in high school, and I just did not, cause like I had that Nvidia Shield, and they had that service where you can play PC games, like stream them from their servers,
Yeah.
and while it was free, they had all the Witcher games on there, and so like I played The Witcher 2 for like 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm bored, I'm gonna go back to Saints Row because I can make people's heads huge, haha, that's funny, and like I just didn't have the patience for it, so like I guess because I was a bubble blowing idiot back then, like I didn't play it, but look at me now, bubble blowing idiot who can read dialogue.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my goodness.
There's
I don't know why I'm short of breath right now.
There's a lot
That's
of
fine.
important dialogue in The Witcher, because they do not spare a single expense.
And that's what's great too, is that like if you skip through dialogue, you will miss out on a lot. Like there could be like someone where it's just like, it's like, "You've talked to my brother. Did he say anything to you?" And you're like, "Ugh," like just like
He's like, yes, but I wasn't listening.
yeah, it's like, "Yes, but I put my fingers in my ears," and we're like, "La la 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 la."
What did my brother tell you? You have a brother?
Yeah, he's like, "He was your brother? Was he cute?"
Ooh, was he the sexy one with the bowl
Was
cut?
he the one that, yeah, the sexy one with a bowl cut? So like 80% of the game.
I mean, to be fair, like, that's kind of the hairstyle to expect.
It's also like super easy to render because
It's
like
easy to render, but like, also, like, that's... Do you really think people are going to care about, like, shaving the sides of their head when, like, they can barely afford food for their children?
dude.
Like what?
I'm
What are
just-
you expecting?
I just remember when we found the first merchant who was getting attacked by the griffin, and like I saved him or whatever. I'm like, I could ask him for all the money that he has. And you're like, why? And I'm like, because he got a bowl cut. And you're like, well, I guess you're stealing a lot of people's money. And I love it. It's so fun. It's a great game that I've been putting a lot of time into.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, there's also another game that I've been putting a lot of time into, which we said that we were going to talk about, or I was at least.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's been out for I want to say a little over a month, right? Like it was March 30th, and it's April. It's like the week of the 22nd, right? So yeah, it's been out for a pretty significant period of time, and I feel like it's hard to give a review of a game that's like meant to be played over the course of like years, just because of the structure of the game. Unless you cheat the clock and like skip in the game, which if you do that, cool. Just don't like post spoilers for people who don't do that, because that's kind of like rude to do for people who want to experience the game in real time, like the way that the game is intended to. Regardless, I've been playing in real time. I've been building up the town and everything. It's very nice. It's like a relaxing game. It's good to wind down the day, or like if you're starting the day and you're not feeling the best, you jump in the game and you talk to some of the villagers. And for anyone who hasn't played Animal Crossing, I think I've already explained it on the channel before. But as like a quick rundown, it is a life simulation game where in this version you're going to be on an island, and you're tasked with like making it into a town. Like in every other game, you were supplied like a town that you can live and thrive in, and and like there would be pre-built things like, you know, there would be like a bridge, or oh, there's like a dedicated area for like shops when you unlock that. Meanwhile, in this game, you have full reign over where anything goes. Even to the point where once you get far enough in the game, you get the ability to terramorph and like create new rivers and waterfalls and like create pathways, which weren't a thing in prior games, which I love. I love that. I think it's really nice because it feels like in this version, Nintendo's really listening to the grievances that people had with New Leaf and have addressed that, because now there's this huge inventory. There's this great system for switching items on the fly with the like the item wheel, which it's weird to say that an item wheel is a new addition to a game with how prevalent it's been with games for like, you know, such a long time.
Yeah, it's been around for like a while.
Yeah, but like it's brand new to Animal Crossing, and it makes me like fear going back to New Leaf or City Folk or Wild World or any of the games and playing it like the way that it used to be, because in old games, wasp nests or like hornet nests were deadly, because you could shake a tree trying to get apples down or trying to get like an item or trying to find money or whatever, and a wasp nest could come down and you would have to go into the menu, equip your bug net and try to catch them, or run away and find like a house to hide inside of. In this game, of course, you can do that, or you can actually have the bug net equipped while you shake the tree, so if it comes down, you can just immediately catch them. And it's so nice, because when I was little, I would buy like so much medicine, and I'd always have like medicine on my character because I was so scared of getting stung. Like I hated that so much in the game. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the music's great. The series has always been known for great music, ambient music, as well as like, you know, more upbeat kind of like guitar led tracks. KK Slider music, like I believe all of the records are actually in this game, or like all of the songs, which is fantastic. But yeah, and there's all this customization stuff, so like a lot of that is like stuff that's kind of coming back. I believe there was some customization in New Leaf. I'll put a little note here if I'm wrong, because I didn't really get to play too deeply into New Leaf, unfortunately, because around that time, that was when I was getting into other games. I was trying to branch off from just playing only Nintendo stuff, and so I didn't really get to put too much time into it. But aside from that, this is definitely the game in this franchise to get into if you are new to the series, because it is so beginner friendly, and the crafting system might seem a little intimidating at first, but trust me, with enough time and enough like bashing your head against the wall, you will fully understand it.
Yeah, like it's a really good game. Like I decided to get into it a little while ago. A little behind schedule. I've been playing it quite a bit though. I think I'm in like the middle of the summer in my second year there. I found myself a wife.
I found myself a wife.
I've been building up my house, and I feel like the farming mechanics are very like that they can be very repetitive like in the beginning, but I feel like there will be a way to like industrialize it a little bit and make it easier to do like day to day.
Jake, do you want to talk about Stardew?
I got into Stardew.
Which is hilarious, because I tried to get into Stardew and I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
I was so bad with the farming mechanics and everything, and like the energy like consumption and everything, because the moment that I unlocked the mines, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go in the mines and I'm going to kill things and find gems to give to Emily so that she will want to be my wife.
Ew,
but,
Emily.
Like, what's wrong with her? She's great.
Frickin' she's got some moves and that's it.
Look, the dance scene that you can unlock is so cute, and just in general, her personality is just fun. And what's wrong with that?
She's a little bit too mystic for me.
Yeah, I get that.
She's like literally your first encounter with her is you go into one of her dreams.
Dude, the dream sequence is so fun though.
Like she's a little too like psychedelic for me.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Your loss. No,
fucking, I'm perfectly fine sticking with Penny.
Dude, Penny's great though too. Like all the characters in that are like so fun, and it's nice to like see them develop over the course that you're like building up this farm.
Yeah.
I will say though that I suck so much with energy consumption to the point where it's like I go into the mines, I go down to like level 20 and I'm like fighting monsters and getting materials or whatever. And then it's like, oh, I have less than like a sixth of like my energy bar. I'm gonna make a mad dash to my house because I ate all the candy bars.
Dude, you
And,
can
like,
go.
I
Dude, just go to the spa.
Dude, well, at that point, it's like late at night in game.
Well,
My character's like, "You need
that's
sleep."
your problem,
Because I spend the entire days in the mines.
dude.
Because those are so much fun.
I developed a pattern where I will spend like the entire morning farming, and then that'll be over by like 10. Then I'll go up to the spa, be there until like noon, and then like make it down to the beach to do some fishing and talk to Willy, my favorite character, probably. And then I'll
Dude, he's great.
fish, talk to Willy, give him some fish, take my money, and then keep fishing. And then I'll go back and I'll sell it all.
Dude, like, you have such a system in place. With me, I'm just like, what do I want to do? I'm going to go to the arcade and play that for, like...
My
like,
one problem with the
way too
game
long.
is, like, I want to build up my farm, but I don't want to do it until I know exactly what it's going to look like at the end. Like, I don't want to have to move stuff around. I want to be like, yes, the barn's going to go right here, and it's going to stay here until the fucking game
Dude,
dies.
moving stuff is half of the game, though.
I don't
like,
want,
constantly,
I want to just like build. I just want to like build my
You wanna
perfect
have, like,
farm.
Yeah, you want to have, like, a set, like, idea, like a blueprint already in place, and you want to go from there. You don't want
Yeah.
to have to, like... I get that, but this game is definitely not that. Like,
Well,
this game...
Shush, I'm gonna do it.
Oh my God. So you're just going to be fucking planting parsnips for like 2 years until you clear all of the trees and all of the rocks.
I already
and you're like,
did
sweet,
that.
now I can make it. And it's like, now I
I've
can
already
make a
done
silo.
that. I've already cleared all the trees and the rocks and the grass.
So what's stopping you?
I don't know where I want to put stuff.
Figure it out, dude.
Like,
That's
I can't
half
put
the
down a
fun of the
windmill
game.
until I know where the windmill's gonna go. I want to know where I'm gonna put it. I want to know where my bees are gonna go. I'm gonna put my damn bees. What?
I just love
Why?
how actually angry you are at the game where you're like, I need a fucking blueprint.
Dude,
Like,
you've seen me play.
Harvey comes over
dude.
and he's like, hey Jake, how's it going? You're like, shut up!
Dude, you've seen me play like Minecraft. You know, like when I build stuff, it's with a very particular purpose.
You're fucking up at 3 a.m. burning the candle at two ends, trying to figure out where to put your fucking chicken coop.
I
and,
don't improvise new constructions. Everything is planned out from the beginning. Every stage.
I love just the image of you just like sweating just at your computer, just like it's just streaming down your face, and you like you just have like the little like ghost object of like where you could put the silo, and you're like dragging it across the screen and like hesitating and then going back and hesitating, and then you're just like, I'm just gonna go fish. That's less
That's
stressful.
literally what it's like being me. Bitch, do you know how
It's a
long
fun
it took
game,
me
though.
to figure out where to put the stable?
Dude,
I had
how
two
long?
places for the stable, and I couldn't decide, and then I did. I'm like, I could put it next to my house, and like the rooftops could basically like match together, and it would look like a nice extension of the house. but I could put it by where my cat likes to sleep with the water bowl, so that the horsey also has another water bowl he could drink out of. It has like that little established corner in the back near like the little like teleportal thingy-majig, which is funny because the horse is also used for travel. But if I put it by the house, it'll be closer, which means I won't have to go out of my way to get my horse. But I can just go up and get the horse and spend like the 10 minutes because time goes by way too fast in Stardew Valley. I prefer it in The Witcher. Where like every minute is like a couple seconds, but no, like in Stardew, like if you forget something at your house before you leave for the day, you've easily lost a literal hours. You have to backtrack back to your house to find the chest that the thing is in, and then you go back out, and then like an hour is just gone.
That's part of the stress of the game for me too, because like with Animal Crossing, the island like maybe takes like five or 6 minutes max to get from like one end to the other. So like if I leave my house, I realize that I broke my shovel, or like I can't or like I forgot my slingshot and there's a balloon. I'm like, oh cool, whatever, like I have a crafting bench that's over in this corner, I can run over quickly with the hardwood, get back over, pop the balloon in time, or go back into my house, access the inventory, get my shovel, and then go back. And I lose like, because Animal Crossing is real time, it's not like video game kind of like time progression the way that Stardew is, so it's a little bit more forgiven, because like the game is only as long as you make it and you let it. So like I could put an entire day into the game, or I could just jump on for like 15 minutes, get all the daily stuff out of the way, and then just put down the game and not worry about it.
But like there was literally a time in Stardew where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like watch some stuff on the TV to get like some knowledge, and then I'm gonna do all my farming, and then I'm gonna like put all my farm stuff away. I'm gonna grab some materials, and I'm gonna go to fucking Robin so I can build myself a windmill. And I do all the farming, which takes like forever because the water bucket keeps going empty, and I haven't built a well yet, so I can't bring that. I can't really get water from that to go to the farm. I have to go back to the river because I chose the hilltop farm, so there's a little river. So I have to go to the river and I have to go back to the farm and keep watering the shit, and then I gotta put the shit away. And then I go up and I go to Robin, and it's like, oh, you don't have the materials. I'm like, fuck, I forgot the materials. And I go back down, get myself my wood, my cloth, and some hardwood. And then I go back and it's like, oh, you don't have the materials. And I'm like, why don't I have the materials? It's like, oh, it takes fucking rocks, so I have to go back down, get the rocks, put the hardwood back, and by the time I go back, she's closed.
And then like you're just like, okay, I'll just go tomorrow, and then you get like a bunch of notes and you look at the notes board and you're like, crap, there's so many other things.
Yeah, there's stuff to do that day that's due with the time
where
limit.
It's like, where they're like, I'm looking for a carp, or like my son is missing. We saw him near the sewers or whatever. And it's like, oh my god.
And it's like, go get like this fish, and I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna look up where to get this fish, and it's like, oh, you gotta go down to the beach, but it can only be in the rain. And guess what? It's raining that day. I am not doing anything else that day.
If you have, I imagine if you have like OCD, this game's incredible.
Oh, I hate it.
Like,
I love it and I hate it, because
being able to just have all these things, and you're like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, like having all these like set plans and everything, like
you can't choose your plans. Your plans are at the whims of the townsfolk.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like part of the appeal to the game, because it's like, oh, you're playing in, like, you're a part of this town's life. Like, it doesn't revolve around you like Animal Crossing does.
Yeah, but it's then like, hey, like, go and get get some copper ore, and it's like, well, I can't go to the mines because I have to catch this fish before, like, the frickin' season ends, or else I'm not gonna be able to go to the community center to turn the stuff for the community center, so I can't go and get your fucking copper, Clint. I've already given you, like, a million copper. Like, what do you need more copper to inspect for?
So that
you
can
already
take
know
that
what
copper.
It's made of. No, he
He's
doesn't even
take the copper.
He doesn't
and
even
put
take it. You get to keep it. I don't get why he wants to look at all this copper.
Because
what can you learn?
He's too much of a bitch to go in the mines himself.
Yeah. And freaking, he's a little baby boy for babies.
Yeah, he's a baby blacksmith for babies.
Yeah.
Alright, but real talk, Clint's a little bitch, and like, that's fine.
Clint's a little bitch. Penny needs some help. Abigail's your basic bitch gamer girlfriend, which, like, she is. But, like, also, that's kind of what makes her approachable.
I love that.
She's so fucking basic.
She might be
but,
basic,
like,
but she checks the
like,
box.
she's fucking basic, but, like, she's got a fucking sword, dude. And she plays video games.
she plays video games, and maybe she'll be my gamer girlfriend.
She's got purple hair, dude.
I just love the idea of like your character just running in and she's just there and she's just hanging out, you know, just playing like Legends Zelda or something, and you're like, oh sweet, you like video games too? I play Minecraft a little. Here's a rock that reminds me of you. Bye. You just run away.
Then there's Leia. Leia's pretty cool. She's an artist from the city.
I fucking love I love the characters in the game so much. They're so sweet and so fun, and I'm sad that I can't get into the game more.
Except for Shane. Fuck Shane.
What the fuck's wrong with Shane?
He
has enough problems.
Yeah, that's his problem.
And in order to gain his trust, you fuel his problem.
Yes. Your first meeting, you drink. You don't have an option to say no. You just do it by the river because you fucking peer pressure.
You're like, hey dude, I bought out the entirety of the bar so that you can become my best friend.
But everyone knows the best romance option is Linus. You can give him so you can give him a nice little home.
Dude, Linus deserves the world. Honestly.
Like, ever since the moment I tried talking to him and he's like, you're not gonna make fun of me, are you? A lot of people make fun of me, and I'm like, bitch.
Shut up. You throw down your shovel and like all the seed bags that you're holding, and you just go.
I throw down my shovel, I throw down my seeds, I throw down my pickaxe. I accidentally cut him with my sword, but then I put that down too, and then I give him a hug.
You're like, dude, come here. Like, dude, he's just trying to live his life, and so many people disrespect him. But like,
dude, he's doing his best. That like, he doesn't disturb anyone. Like, oh no, he picked through some trash once. The trash that you threw out. Whoopsies.
Dude, dude, that fucking scene where he's like, hey, you don't gotta do that anymore. Come see me if you need food. Like, that melted my fucking heart.
We got some pepper poppers.
That's so. It was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
Fantastic game.
And then, like, every time there's, like, an event, he's always in the background, like, I don't want to, like, disturb people or make them feel uncomfortable, so I'm just gonna, like, sit in the back here. I'll watch the glowing jellyfish at night from, like, a distance that I can't see them from. It's okay. And it's like, dude, I will give you a house. I will give you my house, and I will live in a cabin.
Yeah, I will take over your tent. Like, go live your best life, dude. Like, yeah, man, dude. He's wonderful. I didn't get to play too much. I want to believe that he gets the best life ever.
Dude,
so that can be supplied for
he's
him.
Great. I've known people to live in the woods, and they're always great.
We're not going to tell that story.
So there's a man and a rock.
No. No! I don't like that. I hate it. Every time you mention it.
I don't even have to say more. The audience can just wonder what that's about.
Yeah, no, they'll wonder for the rest of the time. Unless we, hey, man in the woods, come on the podcast.
True. Good luck with that.
Yeah, we don't know if he's alive or dead.
What time are we at? I've been looking at pictures I've taken from The Witcher.
We are at about 54 minutes.
I mean, like, can you blame me? Like, this guy right here, he's such a sweetie. Such a look at this sweetie. He's contemplating. He's a contemplating little boy.
Cut to IRL footage of you stroking all these printed out pictures of.
I'm just
And-
lapping my tongue over my new screen.
No. I was like thinking like you. It's like a POV shot where all these pictures just fall like, and then you just start stroking them individually with your hand. I'm gonna need this footage.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I can give you plenty of Witcher footage in the form of individual pictures.
You should get like a bunch of screenshots all in a row so you can make like a GIF out of them.
Nah.
Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Pixel Venture podcast. This has been fun.
Wow, our first episode under an hour.
For like a long time, yeah.
Man, we've really hit dark times, haven't we?
Dude, I'm fucking tired, and I have a lot of things I need to do before class.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Hopefully. God, I need to work on how I speak. I've been having people call me out on how I speak, and it makes me so uncomfortable. Anyways, have a wonderful day. I've been Corey.
I've been playing The Witcher. I've been
And
Jake.
we'll see you.
This whole
We'll
episode's
see
a
you.
giant fucking Witcher tally for like half of it.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to find ways to litter Witcher tallies all over the screen throughout the episode.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'll give you like my Witcher head. So you can use that.
Yeah, I'll slowly crossfade.
Yeah.
Have a good one, everybody.
See ya.
That wasn't the off button.
God damn it, Corey.